Okay, let's take a look at the ventilation system, why it is and what it is. So I'm going to take the mouthpiece out here. And what you will see here is you've got some markings here. You've got T, M, B, closed, C for closed, and C for closed. Now what this stands for is, if you look closely, you can see a little arrow here, but keep in mind the whole mesh is kind of an arrow pointing down. If I set that on T, T stands for top, which means the top of the joint, and therefore the air ventilation is at the top. If I turn this to M, now the ventilation point is in the middle. And of course, if I turn it to B, the ventilation point is on the bottom. C is ventilation is closed, there's nowhere. And of course, the other way, C is also closed the other way. So the reason we do that is we want to try and keep the heater, the vent over top of the heater, over top of the cherry. The biggest challenge I've had in developing this was making sure that the joint didn't go out. So 99% of the time, the joint will not go out unless you've got moist cannabis, super dry cannabis, perhaps you've packed it too tight. We'll go over that in a later segment about how the perfect joint for this. But generally speaking, you should not have a joint that goes out in this. It took 2.5 years to figure that part out. So we want to set the ventilation over. This is a 0.33, it's a little bit smaller. So if I match that up there, I'm basically in the middle section. So what I would do before I light this is I would turn this to M. That now means again that my ventilation point is right here. Air comes in the bottom, air can be released here and keeps the flow of air. Again, light my joint, take a couple of puffs. Once it's lit, I insert that into the jbong and just proceed to smoke my joint. You'll see the smoke coming out of here. Again, you can adjust by covering the various ventilations and choking off the air however you see fit. Even just simply flipping it over, smoke rises, you'll retain a little bit more molecules than you would if it was just open like this. So that's what the ventilation systems are for, is to ensure that your joint continues to flow with air. Because again, as I know, if I have to pull this out every 3 to 5 seconds as a longtime joint smoker, I'm just not going to do it. So I had to make sure that your joint was not going out. And that's how the ventilation system works. Thanks.